right, Todd, if you can hear me, we're going to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this broadcast here live on Mix 96.1 FM and also streaming on PotsdamBears.com. For Todd Truax engineering this broadcast on the Mix 96.1 FM side, and for my partner, former Potsdam Bears coach John Horn, I'm Taylor Salisbury, and we're here this afternoon at the Maxey Hall Arena for this second game of our women's hockey doubleheader this weekend, as the SUNY Potsdam Bears will take on the visiting William Smith Herons. And John, for SUNY Potsdam last night playing Buffalo State, a tall task indeed, as Buffalo State was coming in 3-1 and pretty much had more than 5 goals on average in their first 4 games. Well, last night, Bears able to roar back with 3 straight goals to win 3-2.
Bears came back in that third period after a pretty soft second period, giving up a shorthanded goal and really, kind of losing their momentum. Their coverage in their defensive end wasn't great. Power play seemed a little stagnant, but they came out in the third period and played very solid. Moved the puck around on the power play, sustained a lot of pressure, got a lot of shots on goal, albeit not scoring, but really creating a lot of zone time. And it was, those 3 goals unanswered in the third period that secured the win.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned it there, both teams last night, between the Bengals and the Bears, I don't think either team, if I remember correctly, actually scored on the power play. We did have a shorthanded goal for Buffalo State during one of the SUNY Potsdam power plays, but I think it was a total of 0 for 6 for both teams in the game.
Both goaltenders playing very well last night. We're going to see Magali Perron in the goal again today. She's been the backstop of this Bears team this year, and again, that was the first conference game of the year against Buff State, and they had shown that they can score quite a few goals, and Magali Perron was really the backstop of that effort last night.
Perron, really, we talked to Coach Cook during the very first game of the season here against Alvernia, and we kind of asked her, we said, do you really think you want to add that added captaincy pressure to Perron? However, she said that she is more than willing to be able to take that pressure and put it in her back pocket, and so far she's done miraculous here for SUNY Potsdam early on. Yeah,
no doubt about it, and just with her play, and I'm assuming in the locker room she's looked up to, but we have the Herons in here this afternoon. They took it on the chin last night up in Plattsburgh, which is, you can expect it or not. Plattsburgh is always the gold standard, really, and they really took a tough loss last night. I believe the score was 4-0.
Correct,
up there last night, but they come in here with a record of 2-1-0 on the season. They have 2 wins over St. John Fisher, and of course they're 0-1-0 in conference. The last time the Bears met the Herons was in 2022, and that was a 3-2 loss at Potsdam. But overall, the Bears have a winning record of 4-3, and 4-3-2 is the overall record. So they're up by 1 win, looking to add on to it here this afternoon.
As now we're getting the starting lineups for both of these squads here. And for right now, we'll kick it over to John here. I believe he does have those circled here on his paper. A lot of papers up here for both of us.
Starting for the Herons here will be Skylar Tuffalo, Bella Hacker, and Ainsley Lonzak on the forward lines. Abigail Scum will be on the back, and also with Lane Heiser. In goal will be Mia Iwicki in goal here. For Potsdam, starting tonight, Elisa Marandola will be centering Jalen Castro, Rebecca Kane. On the back end, Jessica Bullock and Mara Edwards. And as we mentioned before, Magali Perrant will be in the net for the Bears.
So with that, we will step aside here so that you can listen to the Canadian and American national anthems before the puck drop here at Maxey Hall. As both teams get set here on their respective benches, let's take a look one more time here at the starting goaltenders for this afternoon's contest with John Horn.
Magali Perrant, number 35, the senior from Trois-Rivières, Quebec, is seeing the majority of the work here for the Bears. She's being backed up by Maddie Ferguson and Alyssa Barnard. And Barnard we have not seen yet this year, but Maddie Ferguson, very capable. And then for the Herons, Mia Iwicki is in goal. She's a junior from Mashpee, Massachusetts. She comes out of the St. Mark's School. She's backed up. Julia Chase as well has seen some time for the Herons this year.
If you're watching on PotsdamBears.com, you will see that William Smith is on the right side of your screen in the green uniforms with white shoulders as well as white stripes. And the Sidney Potsdam Bears this afternoon coming in with white uniforms on the left side with black shoulders and black and maroon trim as the puck drops. We are ready here for the first period at Maxey Hall.
We were wondering whether these are their alternate uniforms or not.
As we have a quick shot already on net by Kane.
Iwicki with a save. But, I'm not sure whether they're the alternate uniforms, but we've seen they have a set of black uniforms, a set of white uniforms, a gray set, and they had a special uniform for the special day. I can't recall.
For the Heritage Night. Yes. Which were orange. They were orange with the maroon and black. Here's a chance coming back the other way, 2-on-1. Getting behind Kane on that was Hacker. However, she just could not put it towards the net. Tip back up to the blue line. This one is going to be deflected away in the slot area by Edwards. And now coming in for support is Marandula. She'll lose control of that one as they come back on the right side of the net, and Perron just slaps it away.
Tofolo came a bit on that short side there. Thought she was going to go behind the net, but took a quick turn. That surprised the Bears defenders.
Now in front of the Bears bench, this is chipped along the boards. Forward, looking to grab control of it was Gamberg. However, she couldn't get a stick on it. Here's a shot towards the net. That one was thrown there by Kelly Howe, and again, deflected away by a body. So far, we've only really seen the one shot on net by Kane towards Iwicki. That's really been the most dangerous play here. However, on the side of the left post, Perron had to squeeze up tight there. The puck was loose and bobbling.
In the early going here, looks like the Herons Club is a quick skating club, active on the forecheck.
And now in front of their own bench, trying to get it back out into center ice. Gamberg keeps that alive briefly. However, now this will be dumped in by Finley Crosby as she will go off to the bench and swap up here. As the Herons will try to go back into the offensive zone here. They do, but the first one back for it are going to be the Bears. Quickly, that will come back out to the neutral zone as this is Twombly passing it across to the far side for her partner, Gallagher. Mills lost control of that one, and now chasing it down is Isabel Boyd as she goes up into that upper right-hand corner. Thrown back down low below the goal mouth. It almost pops free here. And, it looks like a turnover here. No, luckily, William Smith is able to recover there at the very last second with Lily Relia dumping it out.
Isabel Boyd was a little slow to get up there and ended up going right to the bench. Hopefully she's okay.
Right now, this is Josie Purdy who will flip this one off the glass. Back down here left to right. Coming back in over the blue line now for the Herons. It's Schum. Her shot deflected off a blade, and now coming back the other way with a breakout are the Bears. This is Sophia Lease, as she had that one poke checked away. However, coming now back with it is Visco, trying to go down low on that right side, and she is stopped at the last minute by the Herons.
It's going to go all the way, but it was touched by the Bears player, so icing was waved off. Bears trying to exit here. A little bit of, in the early going, the observation here, a little bit of a territorial advantage for the Herons of William Smith. They're good, quick puck movement, and this is a good skating club.
As there's a shot towards the net, not a whole lot of danger to it as Lonzak lets it go. Perron will just cover it up with the trapper.
Face-off's going to be to her left here as we have coming out, that looks like it's the Marandola line out there with Kane and Castro.
Couple bodies fall down here to the ice. Now the puck almost comes out in front of the net, but Perron had the stick down flat and flush, so she was able to knock it aside. That one delayed off sides, and to be honest, Castro was kind of just watching Kane in slow motion there. She couldn't make it back in time.
She tried to get back, but just legs weren't long enough to get the tag up. Jalen Castro, I believe, got that winning goal last night.
That she did.
With just about a minute to go to give the Bears that win.
Cross ice pass here, connects with Anna Tardif. Hers a little too far. The intended target that time was Hacker. As trying to pick this one up is Victoria Prue for SUNY Potsdam. She'll get help here from Kane as she whips this one along the boards to the half wall on the far side. This one kicked back up to the blade by Castro. She could not control it, but now here comes Prue over the blue line to the top of the circle as she will poke that away from Gallagher. She has to go down low. Here's a wraparound, nicely done. However, Iwicki is up to the task in the net.
Kane with that rush contributing there. That was number 16 coming in, Rachel Kane, from her defensive positioning. Shot, knocked down in front. Puck is loose in the slot area. And a save by Iwicki.
That one on edge, literally just cycloning its way slowly towards the top of the crease. Finally, Iwicki was able to spot it with her eye to make the save. Sorry, that'll be the only pun today.
Okay,
I promise that'll be the only pun.
All right.
Off the boards, this one's going to go all the way back down the ice. That should, and it will, result in icing on the Herons.
There's Elise Clifford and Rayanne Rathburn on the back end here, at least initially. Now they're changing as they bring out Jessica Bullock and Mara Edwards for this offensive zone faceoff.
Edwards wins the draw, flips this one back as Edwards puts it back down low. First one over on the far side, half wall, is going to be Paradis as she will battle along with it. Coming back into the corner here at the bottom is Gamberg. She throws it towards the net. Iwicki really didn't know where it was there for a brief moment. However, she's able to grab it at the last second.
Yeah, there was some action there in front. Paradis was in front, albeit occupied by the Herons defender. And I'm not sure that Iwicki was intending for that shot to get through, but she located it and held on for the faceoff.
This is Quirk and Boyd in the face-off dot, and Boyd wins that draw. She also has possession of the puck as she swings up to the Herons bench. Actually lost control of that and has to go back for it in the defensive territory. Cross ice, that one chipped along and goes off of the stick of Mills. However, that was going to be called an icing here.
Yeah, just shy of the red line here. Good little tip, another stride or two. That would have been not the icing call that we saw here, but a good clear call by the referees. Bring that faceoff back into the zone here with 14-13 to go in the first period. No score between the William Smith Herons and the Potsdam Bears.
Off the face-off, that one gently flipped right into the waiting body of Perron by Abigail Shum, a 5'4" sophomore defenseman from Littleton, Colorado, coming up here to the North Country.
Well, I'm not sure what to say, whether the weather is similar or not. It depends on Colorado where you live. Actually, it can change by the moment out there.
I mean, technically it can change by the moment here. You can see all 4 seasons right at the end of winter going into spring. As the puck goes off the official here, the Herons are going to try their luck going back to the opposite side. Right here below us in the crow's nest. That goes off a skate, tagging up is Marandola. She's going to have a chance here. Wide open shot towards the net. And that one is just snatched in midair by Iwicki.
Very heads-up play by Elisa Marandola to not grab that puck on the first viewing of it. She actually had to come back, circle around it, tag up, and go for the loose puck. She came in, got to around the left face-off dot as we look at it, and took a hard shot on Iwicki. She was able to make the save.
You could definitely see her thinking about it there, and then the gears started clicking in her head to tag up there and then get that opportunity. As the puck is going to trickle out in front of the crease here, shot towards the net. That goes through a whole bunch of bodies and is finally cleared out of the danger zone by Avisco. Almost 7 minutes has gone off the clock here in the first period, and we're still scoreless, 0-0. Picking this one up is going to be Hacker. Off the glass, it will go up into the Zamboni corner, and it's picked up here by Rathburn. Rathburn's pass goes off the skate of Lease. This time, though, they will move the puck forward. Trying to advance it was Lease. However, it was on her backhand as she could not get it up to Whiteside. Below the net, here's a turnover as that puck was bobbling around. Picking it up now here in the corner is going to be number 15, Finley Crosby, with a shot towards the net. Perron puts it in the pads, and that will be a whistle.
I don't know if she picked that up late or not, but she certainly had to kick that leg out to make the save. It was a more of a juicy rebound than we typically would see out of Perron, but I think she probably picked it up late and couldn't get right in the proper position, or the position she would like to make the save to control the rebound. But nonetheless, the face-off remained in the zone. Play was stopped.
Noticed last night in the Buffalo State game that Perron kind of started the same way out in the first period last night, and then all of a sudden she started to turn into a sponge, just absorbing every shot that was coming after her.
You know, that all comes down to, again, how good you see the puck and where you're in the proper position to control everything, and sometimes that's just not possible.
This one is stolen away, intercepted in the passing lane by Whiteside. Tripping there to go back to the puck was Edwards, so William Smith gets a shot off there. It goes over the head of Perron and the crossbar.
Well, that was good positioning by Perron. Absolutely nothing for the Herons player to shoot at. So good positioning there by Magali.
It was definitely a tough angle shot, as now this one will come back out to center ice. Bears trying to change up. They almost got in trouble again here right underneath us as the defensive pairing was changing. Last night they got too many players on the ice for that.
Good save there on the redirect. Long shot from the point, I believe, went through some bodies and was redirected just ever so slightly, but Perron, with the good focus, was able to hold on for the face-off.
Looks like this will be Boyd and Quirk one more time off the draw, and again, Boyd is going to win that showdown. She's now sitting at 2-0 on that in the face-off department.
And that face-off is going to come back in the zone. A little bit too much on that exiting pass there. Again, we'll talk about it as we move on here, see if we witness it. Doesn't look like there's much fatigue, at least in the early going. Probably will play. Short night for both teams. Shorter, I believe, perhaps for the Herons, as they were in Plattsburgh last night. Had to make the trip. Not sure if they made it today or last night, but nonetheless, typically a 7 o'clock game gives you a little bit more rest, but here they are in this afternoon contest.
Here's a shot towards the net, and again, Perron makes a save. Beautifully done, however, she could not again grip it with the trapper, and that one went behind the net.
She did not follow it and didn't see where that rebound had gone. Nonetheless, no harm, no foul here as the Bears were able to get out of the zone and get deep into the Heron zone.
Off the line change, Seneca Urban will put this puck up. Now across here to the left wing side, getting to the blue line. It's dumped in here. Going off for the change was Diglio. As the Bears now are desperately trying to break out of their own zone. Marandola with a home run pass was looking for Rebecca Kane, but that was knocked aside here by May. Clifford will backhand this one around the corner. Picked up and tipped towards the net. It was on the opposite side of the red line as Castro will go back after it.
A little bit of a blind pass there, looking for somebody in the slot area, but nobody was there. That was a good dump in, if you will. It didn't have enough pace on it to get to the goaltender, so it allowed the Bears to try to establish a forecheck.
Around the boards, puck is picked up here by William Smith, and then, now both teams are going to try to finally get possession here, and it looks like SUNY Potsdam will calm it down.
William Smith effective in the neutral zone. There's not a lot of lanes open in that neutral zone here. Their defensive coverage has given the Bears some trouble on the offensive rush through the neutral zone.
Right below us here in the Crow's Nest, we had about 5 players here underneath trying to kick this one along, and finally it squirts free, and that's corralled by Edwards as she threw it across there. Now it's going to be cleared in by Bullock. Once again, still no score here between William Smith and SUNY Potsdam, as there's a deke. Here's a backhander. They score! It's Paradis! Her second in 2 games! comes, and SUNY Potsdam is up 1-0.
Turnover high in the zone, about the top of the face-off circle, but the tip towards Paradis was able to get it. She held on to the puck, made the move, went from her left to her right onto the backhand, and was able to find the back of the net. Great individual effort on that turnover by Carly Paradis to get that first goal for the Bears.
And it looks like the trainer has just come out here to double check on Mia Iwicki. She got up a little bit too late. She was down on her stomach, and then she was slowly kind of skating around there on the side of the post. Looks like she's okay and good to go here, as with 8 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the opening period, the Bears now lead 1-0. Face-off one here by the Herons, and they will try to answer back as quick as possible here. That one goes around the boards. Gamberg gets some help there. Puck flies up into the air, brought down by Prue. Prue will throw it back to the far side, and that one is too far there for Paradis. She finally gets a piece of it. That goes all the way down the ice, and that will come back here into the Bears' defensive zone.
As we said, that little bit of a turnover there, high in the slot area, was able to get the puck down onto Paradis' stick, and she made that good move and got the puck off her stick on the backhand. Hard to judge, oftentimes, those backhand shots. Goaltenders will tell you they're the hardest ones to measure, and that certainly was successful there for the Bears.
With the puck now is going to be Rachel Kane. She flipped that off the glass and the partition, tripping in the back there on Paradis. No call there as the puck came back down here right to left. And that one will be blown here on a delayed offsides on William Smith.
We should mention that the men's hockey team last night had a successful win over in Canton, as they were able to put 7 up on the boards against the Roos, who had a very successful weekend the weekend before, beating Elmira. But Bears came out and got a 7-3 win last night and have the day off today.
Well, they should feel extremely proud there. And you had also mentioned that there was a hat trick for the men's hockey team last night. Kind of wish it was here at Maxey Hall so that we could have seen some hats fly on the ice, as well as teddy bears, because last night was the women's hockey teddy bear toss.
Owen Watson with the hat trick for the men's team last night.
Absolutely.
Men's team will be in action next week here, as they will be welcoming top-ranked nationally Hobart, the partner school of William Smith, and also Oswego, who ended up coming back last night to beat Plattsburgh.
That they did. As the Bears now, from the blue line, here's a shot through traffic. Misses the net wide. However, they still have control of it, and finally it's knocked out here to the neutral zone by Lily Relia.
Marandola wanted to take the zone, but the Bears were in there, tried to make a power turn to keep the puck out, lost an edge. And so William Smith was able to get back into the Bears zone here as they possessed the puck.
Hacker able to dipsy doodle her way through a crowd. Shot towards the net, goes high off a body, and now Castro plays it back down low instead of trying to go right out of her zone here, north to south.
Interesting thought process there. You get that close. You get that close to the blue line. You want to get it out, but nonetheless, we have. I don't know if we have a penalty call here or not. But
it could be after the whistle here, because Castro knocked down Fernandez once the whistle was blown there, and Iwicki already had the puck.
Doesn't appear to be a penalty called.
I think that the bench down there for William Smith would be a little bit heated right now. Also want to mention the head coach in his 5th season for William Smith College is Matt Cunningham. Assistant coach Kaylee Harnan for the Herons, and obviously for SUNY Potsdam, it is going to be Olivia Cook in her 3rd season, and her assistant coach is Cameron Barnes.
Cameron Barnes in her 1st season with the Bears comes to us from SUNY Canton, and from all reports from Olivia Cook, has really made her presence felt very well thought of the players, and really have brought a different element than we've had in the past couple of years.
There was a penalty called here against the Bears on that previous play. It's going to be a hooking call here against Tegan Konishnik, the freshman from Fenton, Missouri. So now, this will be the first opportunity of the game for either squad, as William Smith is going to try a quick shot here, and that one goes off the shaft of Edwards. Nicely done. Now in the slot area, top of the circles, it's Kennedy. Her shot again is stopped by Perron for a whistle.
Rowan Kennedy coming right through the middle of the slot area. I don't know whether she didn't handle the puck cleanly or not there, but she was in the area that would have presented a good shot on goal and a good scoring opportunity.
Behind the net, trying to pass it out. That was Howe. It was too far, intended for Kennedy. Now that one on net from center ice has to be knocked aside by Iwicki. With pressure there, it's Rebecca Kane for the Bears. And now on the far right wing side, bringing it in all by herself is going to be Lonzak. Still have 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining here on the power play for William Smith. 5 minutes remaining in the first period, and the Bears lead 1-0. Coming out with that one is Kennedy. And she will look down and decides to cycle it off the half wall. Then she went for the change. Nobody there, and it came out over the blue line. Sydney Potsdam catches a break. Thrown back down once again, all the way this time, as Elise Clifford will throw that down.
Coming up with it there is number 23. That's Diglio, who would end up making the pass through the neutral zone.
Heiser stops on a dime, tries to put it back up to the point, and that one again knocked away. A great play there that time by Josie Purdy, as she will go back to the bench for the Bears.
Good positioning there, was able to press on that puck high in the zone. A little bit of pressure on that defensive player, was able to loosen that puck up.
Very good tight defense here on the penalty kill by the Bears. They really, I would say for the most part, successfully killed that power play off for almost a full 2 minutes.
Well, there hasn't been a great opportunity there. The best opportunity was by Kennedy as she skated through the slot area, but chose not to get a shot on goal. I'm not sure if that was her choice or she just didn't handle the puck, but nonetheless, I don't think there was a shot on goal in that power play.
In the bottom corner, they're having a rugby scrum for it. The official letting it go. Finally, it comes loose here. And coming back the other way on a 2-on-1, it's going to be Twombly passing it to the right side, and it goes over the blade of Crosby. Once again, this is Twombly. Her shot towards the net is going to go wide. However, Perron's taking no chances.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Perron shuts that down. Coming off the penalty kill, want to make sure you get the players on the ice that you want on the ice for this defensive end face-off, and it is a full-scale change for the Bears as Marindola's line will come out in unison here for this defensive end face-off, which is won by the Bears.
Marindola did win the face-off, and then she got knocked down for her troubles by Diglio, who was seeing the numbers 1 and 9. Bounce off the boards. Rathburn will get that up. Skating after it is Castro. She cannot get to it first. However, Marindola comes in second to pick that one up for the Bears. Will she try the wraparound? She thought about it. Could not get a really good chance at it. Now she drop passes it. That one might have hit the side of the net, as letting it go was Kane.
Castro in front, jostling for position, being defended very well, but handles the puck. It gets that shot. She likes it in that dirty area down there. She handles the checking very, very well. Stick on the ice, got that offensive opportunity.
The junior forward certainly has the base body to be able to take that heat and to also take the physicality in front of the net to try to either get the shot off or tip it away.
Well, that was, you saw that in the winning goal last night. there was a scrum in front of the net, and she just stayed at it. She went right through the area where there was the most traffic and was able to come up with that loose puck for the winning goal. Shot on goal there, Magali Perron. It wasn't a dangerous shot, but nonetheless shuts it down with 1:55 to go in the first period. The Bears have that 1-0 lead on the Paradis goal.
Kennedy got this down into the corner for Shum as she will try to go back after it. Hacker also in there for the Bears. It's Rachel Kane, the other captain on this Bears team, and Isabel Boyd. Boyd, eye contact. It hits the stick of Kane, and that one will be thrown back in quickly here by the Herons. Now to the far side. Peru, fans on the clear, as going back for it now for an opportunity is Bullock. Fakes out her first attacker. The second one got a piece of it. That was number 2, Skylar Tafolo. And a shot towards the net, they score! I don't know if it was deflected off the shot. However, it's going to be Lane Heiser tying this game up 1-1.
That's with 1:05 to go. It certainly sounded like it was a deflection, but I didn't notice it. It went wide there. I thought Magali Perron had the good body angle on it, but it certainly found the back of the net just over the glove. So I'm going to say that I do think it was a bit of a redirect. Certainly it slowed the puck down, made it knuckle just a little bit.
So now we have less than 1 minute remaining here in the first period, as taking a body is Bullock. She tried to get that out over the blue line, kept in here by Gallagher. First one back for it are the Bears. However, in front of their own bench, it will be thrown back down low by the defenseman Howe. Another check put on this time by Konishnik to get her player off of the puck. Now picking up the rubber here is Visco. Trying to go to the opposite side there was Clifford. That went off the shin guard of Kennedy, as she will try to track this one down. We have 12 seconds remaining here on the scoreboard. This one will just be flipped into the far side corner. And the last few ticks are going to go down here, as just letting it go there and being hit for her troubles was Ryan Rathburn. The horn will sound. That will do it for our first period of play here at Maxey Hall, as after 20 minutes of play, your score is William Smith 1 and SUNY Potsdam 1.
Yeah, again, that 1:05 remaining in the period when they get that goal can be a momentum mover, adjustment one way or another. We'll see how the Bears come back to answer here in the second period.
And I do have to agree with you, John, as we were kind of talking at the early stages of that first period. Lots of speed between these two teams. Right now, both teams having a little bit of difficulty setting up in the offensive zone, but again, they have one goal apiece here.
Yeah, and we'll see the stats when they come out. As we saw last night and as we see here tonight, two evenly matched teams. It looks to me like William Smith a little bit quicker on their skates, have a little bit more team speed, but nonetheless, the Bears are putting up a good battle here and are creating opportunities on their own. So lots of ways to play the game here, but I wouldn't say that it's anything other than a tie game, which it is.
And with that, we will take a break here, and we will be back in about 10 minutes to give you that first intermission statistics, and we will also take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, get you set up here as we will step aside on both Mix 96.1 FM and PotsdamBears.com. right, Todd, we're back in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on Mix 96.1 FM as well as on PotsdamBears.com. For Todd Truax engineering this broadcast on the Mix 96.1 FM side. And for my partner, the former Potsdam Bears coach John Horn, I'm Taylor Salisbury. And here at Maxey Hall, after one period of play here in this women's hockey contest, it is the SUNY Potsdam Bears 1 and William Smith College 1. John, both teams going back and forth there in the first 20 minutes of play. We talked about the speed, we talked about the footwork, but in the end, it's really kind of just the turnovers there on both teams that ends in a goal apiece here.
Well, that's exactly right. The turnover high in the zone led to that first goal. We'll talk about it in a minute for the Bears. And then a turnover, off to the side here right below us. And the shot came from just about the face-off dot. It was, kind of a knuckler that beat Magali Perrant with 1:05 to go in the first period to tie the game. But the stats are, as it is right now, that 11:22 of the first period, Coralie Paradis would pick up her second goal of the season, with Marissa Whiteside picking up the assist. That was a turnover in the middle of the ice. Paradis would get that backhander by the goaltender, Iwicki, for the Bears' first goal. But then it would be Lane Heiser who would end up getting that knuckler by Magali Perrant, with Finley Crosby picking up the assist. That came at 18:55 of the first period. Shots on goal in the first period had the Herons out shooting the Bears 12-8. Pretty accurate, I would say, on the game. I thought they had a little bit of the better play in the first part of that first period. Things kind of evened out throughout the balance of the game, but we're witnessing a team that has pretty good team speed. They look a little quicker on their skates than the Bears. The Bears have got to move the puck strategically to beat that speed a little bit, and we're seeing some of that. But defensively, inside, especially in the neutral zone, I find that the William Smith Herons are pretty effective. So there's not a lot of passes. Their defense are able to stay up on the blue line, challenge the Bears to dump the puck in, and then try to get at it. But it's, as we said before, Captain Obvious here, 1-1 game. It is an even game so far.
And now we will take a look at the out-of-town scores here for SUNY Potsdam. Their women's basketball team is playing their second game of the Holiday Inn Express Cardinal Classic versus Mount Holyoke. And right now, with 6 minutes remaining in the second quarter, SUNY Potsdam is up 17-13. For the SUNY Canton Kangaroos, the women's basketball team hosts VTSU. And in the men's basketball team, and in the second half, with 12 minutes remaining, they lead 74-47. The women's hockey team is playing Cortland across the way, 10 miles down the road, and Cortland right now leads at the end of 20 minutes, 3-0. For St. Lawrence University, their senior day in football, they were taking on the University of Rochester. The final there is SLU 37, University of Rochester 17. So right now, that'll give the Saints a 3-6 overall record here this season. The men's basketball team is at Clarkson, and with 3 minutes and 14 seconds remaining, they are up by 10 points, 65-55. Then, of course, the men's hockey team will host Harvard at 7 p.m. tonight. Also want to mention SUNY Canton men's hockey team does host number 9 Hamilton at 7 p.m. as well in Canton. For the Golden Knights of Clarkson, the women's basketball team is at Keystone College. They are up 32-8 with 6 minutes remaining in the second quarter. And then the Golden Knights will take on Dartmouth at 4 p.m., so not too far away here as we look down at the clock. That game can be heard on B99.3 as we will have Bob Offeld with the call there. And let's try to see here any other. Yes, we do have 2 other scores here in women's SUNYAC conference play, as Buffalo State is at Plattsburgh State, and right now Plattsburgh leads 1-0 at the end of 1. And then Oswego State is up on Morrisville 3-1 at the end of 20 minutes of play.
Looking at that conference here, the preseason poll for women's hockey has Plattsburgh ranked number 1. Cortland is ranked 2. Oswego. This William Smith team is ranked number 4. So we're going to see how the Bears fare against the 4th-ranked SUNYAC William Smith Herons here as we're underway. We'll see if that late goal had an impact on either team one way or another, adjustment of the momentum. But as we say, that goal to tie the game by the Herons came with minute 5 to go in the first period.
Going down left to right, the shot was on target by Heiser, and it was kicked away by the right pad of Perron. In the bottom left-hand corner here, that's going to be taken away by the Bears, flipped up in the air. It does go over the blue line, and that will be an offsides. Took the linesman a second there to notice it, but that definitely went over the full blue line.
We're going to have a change of personnel here for both teams as the unit of Whiteside, Paradis, and Gamberg, that freshman line, comes out for the Bears, and they're going to be facing off against Howell, Kennedy, and Crosby.
As the Bears dump this one down low off the half wall, Paradis connects here with Gamberg. Here she comes on the left side, streaking down to pick it up. It's going to be her and also Whiteside down there. However, it goes up in the air and is brought down by a glove. No glove pass, as the first one to get back to it was number 11, Tara Veloz. Gamberg back at center ice, has to regroup. She does, got it across for Pro, and she will slap this one down low behind the net of Iwicki.
Good breakout here. A couple of crisp passes are able to get out and clear the zone before the Bears can take over possession in the neutral zone. That's
Boyd fighting for it, as well as Purdy. Keeping it up over there was Vallas. However, SUNY Possum's going to come out of their own zone. That goes over the stick of Purdy. Letting it go was Clifford, and it goes all the way down the ice. This is icing.
Well, 18:20 to go here. Really no harm, no foul in the early going as we are checking a score there just to stay updated. Face off to the left of goaltender Magali Perron, one of the captains here on this Bear squad.
Puck thrown around the half wall, kept in here off the backhand by Quirk. Now this one hits the very tippy top of the glass pane and will make its way down the ice, but no icing as that one was picked up right before the goal line. And this is Quirk again. Has that one knocked off her stick as she tries to regroup. As she puts that off of the shin of Megan Mills. It's picked up in the defensive zone by the Bears.
Just anxious to get the puck out there. I thought an indirect pass could have found a stick in the neutral zone.
And it does, as it floats right up into the breadbasket of Perron. And she didn't even really have it in the glove. She had it on the side of her arm as she makes the stop.
Interestingly enough, I don't know if that'd be considered a shot on goal because it came that way. I don't think it would have attempted to go across the goal line had she missed it. But nonetheless, she was able to corral it and hold on for the face-off.
As the Herons put on some good pressure here. Finally, the Bears are able to get it down the ice, and it looks like they're at least going to try to change up the defensive pairing here. Going down to the ground there was Visco as she lost the puck. Trying to dump it in that time was Heiser, and it went off the linesman. As the Bears try to once again get it out of the defensive zone, we've already Had about 3 minutes go off the scoreboard here in the second period. And John, to be perfectly honest, it seems like it's been all William Smith here so far.
Yeah, it has. The Bears aren't really able to sustain much here. They're kind of getting in the way of things, but the play is being carried here by William Smith.
Flipped off the boards. This is going to be intercepted by Pro as the Bears try to come back here right to left. That slap thought it might go in favor of Castro. However, it's knocked away in the neutral zone. It's going to be thrown towards the net on target by Bullock. She went off for a line change. Iwicki came up with the little flutter save as now the puck comes out in front of the SUNY Potsdam bench. It's Mirandola getting away from her defender. Down low, she has a pass if she wants it. She decides to keep going around, takes the shot, tough angle, and Iwicki slides out for a save.
Comes out in front of the blue ice to knock that puck away. Good play by Iwicki.
And now Castro again trying to use her leverage to her advantage. She's taken down on the play. A wonderful defensive stop there by Bella Hacker. Here's a shot towards the net. Ooh, I thought that one bounced up in the air. It was actually just the hair of Rebecca Kane. And that's the stop here for a whistle by William Smith.
Well, good shot from the point there. Was able to get through, and Kane was right in front. That was a heck of a save by Iwicki there with traffic in front of her. A positional save. I'm not sure she got a good look at the puck, but got her body in the way of it.
And William Smith able to get out of their own zone here. However, that puck goes too far down the ice, and Rathburn picks it up for the Bears. Rathburn with a backhander. That goes to Paradis. Now she looks up and connects with an amazing forward pass to Gamberg. Gamberg trying to beat Gallagher. Last line of defense here for William Smith, as now they all get back into their own defensive territory. Here's a shot towards the net. It's on target, but it's on the ground. Easy stop for Mia Iwicki.
Yeah, Bears picking up a little bit of the pace here in the last minute and a half or so. Some pressure sustained in the offensive zone have forced Iwicki to make a couple of good saves here. So let's see if we can sustain this.
Isabel Boyd tying up there with Aurelia. Trying to keep that one in was Bullock. However, it was knocked away by Aurelia, who is now trying to skate down here and get back to the puck. Edwards knocks it along the boards back to the blue line. However, that's going to go back down into the corner as the combination of Diglio and Heiser were able to put it down there. Here's a shot towards the net that goes off the skate of Bullock, and it's picked up here as, ooh, that was a good leading pass, and at the last second, it's going to be an icing here, but wide open was Purdy to make a breakaway opportunity.
Well, that was a good look, a good thought, just about a body ahead of Purdy. Couldn't quite get the stick on it. Gave it a good chase, almost a tie in terms of getting towards that puck, but the referee saw it as the William Smith team beating Potsdam to the puck and blew it down for the icing call.
Almost with a fake pass shot there was Urban. Perron was able to knock it aside with the paddle. And being taken down there on the play was Mills. However, both players back up here on the ice and will go back to their respective benches. Drop pass behind. Edwards will have it there, and now it's tipped back into center ice by Sophia Lease.
Right back at you, if you will. Bears had some pressure for a while. Now here comes Hobart with the turnover at the blue line.
Tardif will curl away from Edwards. Loose the puck. However, it squirts back over to Bullock at center ice. This will be thrown back into the defensive zone of SUNY Potsdam, and they're quickly back out. That one is going to be called out of play, as to be honest, going off was a defender here for the Bears. It actually went over the body as they were crossing through and barely tipped the shoulder.
So the faceoff will come back just outside the Bears zone here, right below us. 13-13 to go in the second period. The game is still tied at 1. Bears bring out Konishnik to center this in the neutral zone.
It's going to be grabbed by Elise. And now it's tape to tape, defensive passing. Prue over the blue line. Her shot on the ice did not get through. That one was way up in the air, just missing wide by Visco. Visco is going to wait here to see what happens and pick up the puck here, as Lease was able to drag this one out of a pile. At the blue line, here's a shot towards the net, and Iwicki really trying to use that glove, but maybe she might have thought about the shoulder of the blocker there, because there was a lot of space between her and that right side post.
Well, you could see she was following it very closely, but chose to bring that trapper across her body and hold on to it for the faceoff.
And it was Rachel Kane who took that shot towards the net, and it looks like we're going to have a delayed penalty. Yes, coming back and taking down Rodney was Rathburn. So this will be the second power play chance here of the game for the Herons.
Unsuccessful on that first attempt. The Bears here will go back all the way down into their zone for the face-off. So Bears are going to have to be on it. They've been solid here on the PK this year.
Cross ice pass, that one hit the skate of Kennedy, and now she will finally put it back on her blade. But she threw it out into the slot area, and that is going to be cleared down the ice safely by Jessica Bullock.
Well, she'd like to have another thought at that. There wasn't anybody home there for that pass through the slot area, so the Bears were able to grab it and get it all the way down the ice here, and a turnover in the neutral zone here, forcing the Herons to regroup again.
Here's some good pressure being put on by Konishnik, and for about the third time in this game, SUNY Potsdam flips the puck up into their own bench.
Getting a wholesale change here for the Bears, getting some fresh legs out there for the PK with 1:27 to go in the power play for the Herons.
On the far side, that'll be thrown off the boards by Diglio. That's going all the way down the ice, and it's going to come back here, icing on William Smith.
There's pressure giving the Herons here just a little bit of trouble as they try to figure out how to attack it. Bears have they've been offering a problem here on the breakout and through the neutral zone, so really haven't been able to formulate a way to get any possession in the offensive zone, that is for the Herons. So the Bears have done a nice job.
Coming out of her own zone, Heiser passes this along. Now on basically a pick play, getting away with it is going to be Crosby. However, that is going to be slapped away on the defense. Rachel Kane there for it. Twombly. Back pass picked up here. Shot towards the net. Heiser looking for her second. Just about 44 seconds remaining here in the penalty to the Bears, and 11 minutes remaining here in our middle frame. 1-1 tie. Here's a shot as Perrault saw it all the way. That was almost a snipe by Finley Crosby. There was a lot of power behind that one.
Yeah, and Perron had to force the blocker out there to steer it to the corner, and the Bears ultimately were able to clear here with 17 seconds to go in the advantage for the Herons.
Just about time for one last rush here as Madeline Diglio will pass it back here. Another shot from this right wing side goes wide of the net. And that should just about do it here on the penalty, yes, as William Smith is now 0 for 2.
Good work by Mara Edwards as she was able to deflect that puck away from the slot area. So good active stick by the freshman from Kingston, Ontario.
Getting away from the check there was McCormick. Here's a shot that actually trickles towards Perrault. A little bit of power on it, however, not a whole lot, but she makes the save. save.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think, who was that? 19 coming in?
Yes, I believe that was Hacker.
Had a little bit of a late hack at the glove, if you will.
There's your one pun of the night. You did have the not one yesterday.
Yeah.
So we are halfway through this second period, and this is something you said last night as well. A very fast period at that here.
Yeah,
we're still tied at 1 apiece.
Yeah, moving right along here. This has been a very quick game here as both teams are skating well, not showing any sign of fatigue just yet. We'll see how the second half of the game unfolds here, but both teams skating very well. Again, that team speed by the Herons have forced the Bears into quick puck movement.
Loose puck picked up by Visco at the top of the circle. Lets that one go. It goes off the glove of Iwicki behind the net. As William Smith will bring this one back left to right with a full head of steam is Hacker. She'll try to get by Prode, and she'll have to swing low behind the cage. Still has momentum, finally lets it go back down off the face-off circle. This one is going to bounce in front of the net, and the Bears look like they're able to elude the danger here momentarily. However, now here's a shot by Toffolo, and it's knocked away again by Perron.
Bears are reaching a little bit here with the stick. Like to see them take a couple of more strides. Poking away with the stick is, there's a place for it here, but you want to see if your skating can get in the defensive way rather than just reaching with your stick.
We did see Pro last night in the waning stages of that third period have some nice defensive plays by holding that stick down low and out as she extended. However, yes, you are correct. There is a time and a place, and right now really isn't that sort of time as they're back here in the center ice and in the offensive zone. Letting this one go off the glass was Quirk. Picked up here, and that's going to be alley-ooped past the stick of Rachel Kane. However, she quickly gets back to it. Looking for Castro. Are they going to say it was tipped? Yes, they do. Icing waved off.
Man, I didn't see that.
It was awfully close, but... And now it's Gamberg who will get a chance to put it towards the net. She does. That one is waffle boarded away by Iwicki. Trying once again to throw it in front of the net there was Paradis. Shot by Gamberg. Didn't really have a good angle on it as she was spinning around. Paradis now tracking this one. However, it's going to be taken away from her by Rilya. And it's cleared out here by the Herons, who again, second period, the long change, they really needed it as well as the Bears, and SUNY Potsdam is going to get an icing.
Got an icing call there. I'm sure the Herons will get a full-scale change here to get some fresh legs out there. The Bears are going to have to take their time getting into the face-off position here as this quite a long shift. They were not able to get off the ice. Certainly on the icing call, but even prior to that because of the long change.
Howe and Crosby were in the circle there and could not come up with the puck. The Bears had it briefly, and now finally it's put back up into the upper corner by Tardif. Looking up and getting the pass here. It's going to be Paradis. Can she beat her defender? She has the Jets. However, it's tipped away off her blade.
And there's a good example of a good stick. That was a nice defensive stick by the Herons defender there.
Delayed offsides as Paradis had to tag up. Now she goes to the bench in exchange for Lease. Meanwhile, the puck is picked up here by Tardif. She'll try to forward it, and it's going to be knocked away here by Lease. Kept in at the blue line. Bullock takes a clapper. However, that one hits the pads of Crosby, and now the Herons are able to dump it down the ice. Once again, looking for about a wholesale change. As we have just about 6 minutes remaining here in the second period. Still tied 1-1 here. William Smith and SUNY Potsdam on this Saturday afternoon in the North Country. Fisco trying to get away from two attackers. As finally she's able to get this one up. However, it's taken away quickly by Fernandez. She now has control of it. In the face-off circle to the right of Peralta. That one slapped away from the slot. Nicely done there by Pro.
Nice little give and go there by the Herons. Created that offensive opportunity. But a nice clear by the Bears, who are able to relieve the pressure.
And on that long change, that was Rachel Kane and Clifford trying to get back. Boyd looking to skate this one out. However, it will be an icing once again on the Bears.
Yeah, looking for a couple of those passes here. Just a little bit too much on them here in this second period, as we've had a couple of unnecessary icings. You just got to take a little bit more time and make the purposeful passes. I think the Bears, respecting the speed of the Herons here, getting rid of the puck, need to be a little bit more patient with it.
Swinging back up to the top of the circle. Here's a shot towards the net, fired in by Heiser. However, that goes high of the net. Flipped up, glove down here at the blue line. The Bears will bring it back out here to the neutral zone. This is going to be put in by Kane. Going after it is going to be Purdy. However, she's faked out there. That was a good little play by Heiser. Chipped along. That was Bella Hacker letting it go, as she will go to the bench. Cindy Potsdam once again trying to break out of their own zone. That one goes off the shin of Castro, and here's a chance coming in. It's Mirandula. She has a step, but she couldn't get the shot away. Tremendous defense there by Anna Tardif.
Nice play at the blue line by Mirandola, but a terrific defensive play by Tardif.
Tardif, a sophomore defenseman on this William Smith club from Concord, New Hampshire. Here's a shot towards the net. It's in the pads of Iwicki, and now we're going to have a little meeting of the minds in front of the netminder.
Pretty slow whistle there caused that little extra activity in front of the net. The referees, I thought the puck was well under control by goaltender Iwicki, and you got to, get that whistle blown so you don't have that extra activity in front of the net.
And she's kind of talking to the official about that as well. We did see that as well last night against Buffalo State, and that's what resulted in Castro being able to score the game-winning goal in the last minute.
Yep.
So we'll see how consistent the officials can be here moving forward in this game, as we only have a few minutes remaining here in the middle period. Kicking this one along was Kane. It goes backwards, and Victoria Prue is there on the check. Looking up, that goes off the blue line. Very hard to tell if that would have been delayed or not, with a bunch of bodies here underneath us, and the linesman on the opposite side of the ice. Now it's going to be in the offensive zone for William Smith. That shot goes off a skate, as it looks like picking it up here. Oh, it was gonna be Gamberg. Went too far for her and is thrown back in again, this time by Vallis. Here on the close side, change there. Could have possibly been too many players. However, we resume as May will be the first one to get to it. Off the half wall, it's a turnover and a possible chance in front of the net, as being knocked down was May by Rachel Kane.
Good play by Kane there. That was a dangerous situation. The puck coming into the front of the net. Kane had to come from behind to interrupt that offensive opportunity, but a good play by Kane.
Twombly got it to the opposite side for her defensive partner, Fiona Gallagher. Gallagher will throw that in and then go back to her assigned spot. Kane surveying the landscape. Hits a wide open Whiteside, who will dump this one down behind the cage of the Huron netminder. First one there is going to be Visco. Nicely done by number 24 in white as she now comes around the net. Puts it back up to Bullock. She comes to the top of the circle shot. Stopped. And here's a rebound. It's loose. Oh, a good opportunity there for Lease. The puck gets shot into the Bears bench again. I'm glad they all have helmets on, but you got to think head coach Cook needs to watch herself here with as many pucks going into the bench.
Good work behind the goal line. Bears possessed it, got the puck in front, but you'll notice the William Smith team kind of packed it in. So despite the puck being loose, Lease having an opportunity at it, the active play by the William Smith defense really didn't allow much of an opportunity.
Konishnik trying to put that back up to Bullock. That is tipped away in the passing lane by Quirk as she tries to race for the puck, but that's taken away by Clifford. Giveaway in the defensive zone. Scooping that one up was Diglio. She passes that for Heiser. Heiser shot just misses that right side post.
Good offensive opportunity. Heiser coming in, getting that good shot, just missed the far side.
Clifford around the boards in that upper corner. She's going to collide with the stripe over there below the goal mouth. And here's a chance as the puck goes towards the net. Great defense by Bullock, and then coming in a little late there was Madeline Diglio to kind of bowl her over.
Not sure exactly who it was. It doesn't make any difference. But the defensive player carrying the puck just to the top of this face-off circle tries to make a move that was unnecessary. You have to move the puck there, and there was a poke check by the William Smith forward who was able to go in and get an opportunity. You got to be moving the puck. You can't be making one-on-one moves inside your defensive end.
SUNY Potsdam will bring this out of their own defensive zone with about 50 seconds remaining here in the second period. With speed now, catching up to the puck is Kennedy, and she's going to be rubbed off by Purdy, trying to pass it along. It gets back up to the blue line here for Tardif. Here's a slap shot towards the net. That one deflected off a body and goes wide. A thunderous shot there by Boyd as she made a good amount of contact with Crosby. Couple players tying up there. I believe Castro was in there. No, actually, that one was Purdy. One chance here for Edwards to quite possibly bring it down to the other end and have the Bears get at least one more shot on net. Less than 10 seconds remaining. It's in the skates of Kane as she will just try to hold on to this and kill the final seconds as the horn sounds. It would have been a delayed offside anyway, but that'll do it for the second period here at the Maxey Hall Arena. And after 40 minutes of play, we are still tied 1-1 here between SUNY Potsdam and William Smith.
A little bit more close checking in that period, I think. The goaltending less of a factor in that period.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so the close checking, the 5-on-5 play really presented, was the dictator of how the game was being played. Good. I thought that both teams skated very well. Edge again, I think, a little bit to William Smith, but the Bears were able to get in the way of some of those offensive opportunities. So as we just get a quick look at this statistic, the Herons did no goals in that period, but however, you'll notice the shots on goal were 6 for the Herons, 9 for the Bears, and a two-period total of 18 for the Herons, 17 for the Bears.
Not going to lie, I actually thought it wasn't going to be as close as that after the second period of play in terms of the shot department. However, it is neck and neck. We're going to step aside here for 10 minutes, and we'll be back with your full second intermission statistics, and we will also have the updated out-of-town scoreboard here for you. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back here shortly on Mix 96.1 FM and PotsdamBears.com. right, Todd, we're going to go back here in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back here at Maxey Hall on Mix 96.1 FM and also live streaming on PotsdamBears.com. After 40 minutes of play here at the Maxey Hall Arena, it is 1-1 here in this women's hockey contest between the SUNY Potsdam Bears and the William Smith Herons. Once again, for Todd Truex engineering this broadcast on the Mix 96.1 FM side, and for my partner, former Potsdam Bears coach John Horn, I'm Taylor Salisbury. And John, we were mentioning it there before we went to break. For both of these teams, it's actually quite a surprise. The shots on goal are tied, and I mean, they're really going stride for stride here going into the final period, and both teams having long games last night, both in Plattsburgh and here against Buffalo State.
Yeah, and what little bit of difference between the first two periods, the goaltenders were a little bit more a factor in the outcome of that period, and really not as much of a factor in the second period. Shots on goal were very close, with the Bears out shooting the Herons in that period 9-6. No goals being scored, but goals in the first period came at 11:22, where Coralie Paradis would get her second of the year from Marissa Whitehead with her first assist, and then the Herons would pick up the tying goal at 18:55. Lane Heiser would pick up her first of the goal, with Finley Crosby picking up the assist. But in the second period, it was closer checking. Shots came from the perimeter, even though the puck found its way into the goal-scoring area, but was either mishandled or the defensive players for either team were able to make the clear and take it out of harm's way. So at times, not the prettiest of games that we've seen, as you will probably observe in a close checking game, where there's the bodies are very close. The play is not as succinct as you might see it in other parts of the game here. But the Bears are doing very well staying with this swift skating Herons club.
And now we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard here. We do have a few updates. For SUNY Potsdam, the women's basketball team was in Plattsburgh as they were playing Mount Holyoke in that Holiday Inn Express Cardinal Classic. With less than 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter, the Bears are up 47-24. For SUNY Canton, the men's basketball team comes out with a victory over VTSU. Your final score, 106-77. Don't normally see that from a D3, especially around here, cracking 100 points.
Yep.
For the women's hockey team, they're playing Cortland, and at the end of 2 periods of play, they are down now 4-0. The men's hockey team will take on number 9 Hamilton at 7 p.m. And then for St. Lawrence University, we mentioned the football team comes out with a win here on Senior Day. The men's basketball team defeats Clarkson by a final score of 75-63. And of course, they will be playing Harvard at 7 p.m. as they flip-flop with Clarkson. Clarkson playing Dartmouth, and we'll get to that here momentarily. For the Golden Knights, the women's basketball team is at Keystone College. With 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, Clarkson leads 54-28. And the men's hockey team playing Dartmouth right now. That started at 4 p.m. over on B99.3 FM as well as ESPN Plus. With 8 minutes remaining in the first period of play, it is still scoreless between Clarkson and Dartmouth. 2 men's SUNYAC games have also started here. Fredonia is at Cortland, and they are scoreless here with 8 minutes and 44 seconds remaining in the opening period. Plattsburgh State is at Hobart, and they are also scoreless with 10 minutes remaining in the first 20 minutes of play. In the women's SUNYAC, pretty much more of the same. Buffalo State at Plattsburgh State. At the end of 2 periods of play, it's still 1-0 Plattsburgh State. And Oswego State still holds a 3-1 lead over Morrisville at the end of 2.
We're going to talk about these new travel partners that, especially on the men's side, where Oswego is now partnered with Hobart. That's a tough run. And Plattsburgh is now partnered with Skidmore, which is another new member of the SUNYAC League. So it's really a tough haul here these days.
It'll be quite interesting to see, though, as the season progresses here, just how both of those teams coming into the SUNYAC, at least in men's hockey, will be able to perform on those travel trips.
On the early going here, Hobart is living up to their advantage, to their billing, as they are the 2-time repeating national championships and are currently ranked number 1 in the country.
So we have started the third period of play here at Maxey Hall, as William Smith on the right side of your screen on PotsdamBears.com. We'll go back right to left here. The Bears in the white uniforms with black shoulders and maroon trim. Coming back the other way. Oh, it could have been a possible 2-on-1. Getting back into the play there was Tardif. Here's a shot towards the net by Paradis, and it goes wide. Puck flips up into the air in front of the Herons bench, and that one goes down into the Bears' defensive zone, fired off the boards to the far side. Paradis could not catch up with it. However, this will be picked up once again by Rachel Kane. The captain comes in with a beautiful shot, and Iwicki able to hold on to it. Finally, the official wanted her to play it. There was nobody in the vicinity, and then finally he blew the whistle when she did play it.
Well, and again, the Potsdam player was coming out of the corner there and decided that they were going to blow that down. They could have blown it earlier. Referee having a little bit of a conversation saying, be a little bit more aware of the game and keep the game moving if you can. But that was probably a wise decision by the referee to blow that down, even though it was a late whistle.
Errant pass goes back into center ice, and it's picked up here by Crosby, who had to swing from the right wing side back into the center lane. Now on the left, here in front of the Bears bench with control is Tardif. She'll get help here as swinging in was Howe. Here's a shot towards the net, and that one goes off the right pillow of Perron. Now to the far side. The loose change is picked up by Rathburn, trying to go back across. That went off a stick. Looks like, yes, it was a delayed offside there, as William Smith had to tag up with time. Clifford is able to find Mills. And Mills dumps this one down low behind the net of Iwicki. Forward pass. Little too far there for Urban, and she was not able to fully control that one. And now this one is dumped into the defensive zone of the Bears. Having a battle for it there was Edwards and Diglio. 17 minutes and 23 seconds on the clock here. In this third period, it is 1-1 between the Herons and the Bears. This one is chipped down the ice, and that will come back here against SUNY Potsdam.
Almost 3 minutes gone here in the third period, and really not much to offer in terms of color commentary. It's just, again, been kind of close checking and not much of a threat to either goaltender here as we progress into the third period. There's a shot from the point that had to be steered away.
You're too modest. We can always use any insights that you may have for both teams. You have plenty of knowledge to spread around. As that one will go into the defensive zone of William Smith. Getting back for it is Abigail Schum, a sophomore defenseman. Trying to look forward there. That was too far for Heiser, who has the lone goal here for William Smith. And SUNY Potsdam having a little bit of difficulty here, just trying to start the play and get into the offensive zone. Finally they do, as Castro is going to leave this one back, and she's going to get it on a give and go. Now, ooh, that would have been an interesting play in front of the net as Castro was looking for Rebecca Kane. That one is saved there by Iwicki.
Beautiful shot. That was a hard shot by Rebecca Kane, low in the slot area. Blocker save, but a terrific shot and a terrific save.
This one pushed away by the stick of Iwicki, as it was a possible 3-on-2 there. Castro is going to try to go in for this one. However, that pass will go backwards. Now it's taken away. SUNY Potsdam almost getting an opportunity on the turnover. And they just might still, as going for this one is Kane.
Last night we mentioned that Castro was all around the puck. She hasn't been as visible here tonight, or this afternoon I should say, as she was last night. Let's look for her to get more engaged. Really, Mirandola has been the feature player on that line.
And Mirandola also had a chance at a breakaway here earlier in the second period. Just could not get the shot off as the defense was put on nicely by William Smith College. Clifford looking for Gamberg, and that one is going to be intercepted by Howe. But coming back the other way is Paradis. She slips over the blue line, shot towards the net, will be knocked behind it by Iwicki. On the half wall, that goes off a skate. Mirandola, who we just mentioned, is going after it. She goes a little bit too far. That goes off a skate, and it will be corralled by Vallis. Here's a pass, and it's a one-on-one chance here. Now coming into the play was Brodney. I don't think that Kennedy spotted her. It could have been a 2-on-1. Howe puts this out near the front of the net, and she'll have it again. Trying to get away from the pressure being put on there by Mirandola. She'll pass that along, and Crosby tries to flip it towards the net. Not a whole lot of mustard behind it. However, a good amount of pressure being put on here offensively by the Herons in this last minute and 30 seconds.
Rathburn loses her stick there, but was really active in the breakout.
And here's a 2-on-1 as Castro has it, and Rebecca Kane's with her. She tries to take the shot. It goes off the shin of Gallagher.
Well, there's Castro. We were talking about her a couple of minutes ago, needing to get into the opportunities area. She's had a couple here in the last 2 minutes.
That was Bullock trying to bring it up all on her own, and that was knocked away from her. Edwards able to get back for it. Here's a pass near the side of the net on the left side as Lily Relia tried to kind of spin around. There will be a delayed penalty here, and we're going to have a little bit of physicality. I think that might be Isabel Boyd getting the gate.
Well, it's going to be, there's no doubt the Bears are going to take a penalty on that. That was a heavy hit there.
Or is it Bullock? It's going to be Bullock.
Jessica Bullock going off here. So power play opportunity for the Herons of William Smith with 13:32 to go in the third period. They've had a couple of power plays here. They have been unsuccessful so far. Bears have offered a very significant penalty killing system here in the early going, in the game here tonight.
Will the third time be the charm here for William Smith on the power play? The official call there against Bullock. Ooh, as that puck bounces on Vallis and comes out of play. The official call on Bullock is going to be a boarding penalty for 2 minutes. As that one thrown towards the net just barely misses the top of the blade of Lonzak. There's another chance thrown in, and that goes off the body of Clifford. Good sacrifice there, as that might have been a close angle shot on Perron.
Rowan Kennedy has had several opportunities on the power plays here this afternoon. She was the one that skated through the slot area in the previous period, wasn't able to find the handle, but she's getting looks on this power play, so we'll keep an eye on her, number 8 in green.
Pass down low, and now back to the blue line. Playing pitch and catch here.
There's a shot.
Crosby, she scores!
Shot in the goal.
Crosby lets it go from the left circle, and it beats Perron. William Smith on the power play now leads it 2-1.
There was activity in front of Magali Perron. She wasn't able to get a good quick look at it, but that was a great shot that went high on the blocker side. A terrific shot from Finley Crosby from Oysterville, Massachusetts.
Still plenty of time here, though, for the Bears to tie this game back up.
Power play?
It was a power play goal. Yes, it was.
I wasn't sure if the time had expired there.
So I guess I need to maybe not say, will the third time be the charm for him next time around.
You don't lay off that phrase.
Yeah. 12 minutes and 17 seconds remaining, so the Bears have plenty of time to set up shop here in the offensive zone and go to work. Iwicki will stop this one behind her net. Bringing it out is going to be Shum with a burst of speed. She gets by two players, will take it down low. Then it's popped off her stick by Pro, who's going to try to come out of her own defensive zone.
Bears had to come from behind last night. They did, scoring 3 goals in the third period, including the eventual game winner with just about a minute to go here. So this Bear club doesn't have any give up in them. So they're really going to have to really put on the pressure now. And it looks like that go-ahead goal has got their attention.
And 2 of those goals last night for the Bears to ultimately tie it up came in just about 30 seconds between each other.
Yeah.
So SUNY Potsdam definitely has they have the tools. They have the people that can put it in the back of the net. They just have to connect here with some crisp passes. Like, in the second period, we saw the puck, like you said, a body ahead of the player. They need to be a little bit closer on those passes here in the third period.
Yeah, and the other thing is you really want to see the energy level click up here. So sometimes you get that goal, you get a little comfortable. We'll see if William Smith gets comfortable or they want to stay energized. But the Bears certainly have got to be energized here as they have to play catch up with 11:15 to go in the third period.
Tripping on that one was Paradis over the center line. Taken away in front of the net. This one slapped back in front of the Bears bench and is picked up here by Aurelia. In the bottom left-hand corner. With pressure, Bullock is going to be stripped of the puck here as that one almost thrown out in front of the net by Diglio, who took the puck away initially. Now looking up with the pass, connecting there over the blue line. It's going to be Howe. Howe with a drop pass. That deflects, but Perron able to make a save on the blocker side.
That might be the best save of the game for Perron, given the time of the game, because that could have really been a backbreaker. And that was a very tough save. That was a redirect that she was moving with the play, and it was redirected and fortunately found her right in the midsection. But a terrific save in its own right, but a terrific save at the time of the game.
Howe wins the face-off in the offensive zone. With it now is going to be Kennedy. Flipped up out of the defensive zone. That one goes off the boards, takes a funky bounce down the ice. Perron thought that was an icing, however, it was waved off. Castro looking for a pass to the opposite side, left to right. It finally makes its way over there to Rebecca Kane, and she will just slap this one into the zone for a change.
Got a penalty coming.
Yes, we have a delayed penalty here, as I don't think Perron noticed it. However, this should go, I believe, against the Herons, as Bullock seemed a little upset there on the play.
Well, we're going to see what happens here, making sure that that's going to be number 7 going off for them. That is Tardif, the fine defensive player from Concord, New Hampshire. Thought maybe want to make sure you get the right number of players on. We did not have a timeout yesterday from either team.
That's right.
So both coaches holding on to their timeouts here.
As we have surpassed the halfway mark here in regulation play. Streaking out of the zone here is Gamberg. Nice deke to get through. Shoots! And ooh, wow, what a beautiful save by Iwicki.
Well, coming out, that was a high shot, but a beautiful move by the freshman Jane Gamberg from Upper Dublin, PA. Came down, put a nice move on the defensive player, and just ripped a snapshot that had to be a really good save for Iwicki and the William Smith team.
One-timer, Bullock lets that one flutter towards the net, and that safely goes into the pads of Iwicki for another face-off. They will reset to the left.
System being what we talked about last night, getting some shots. Don't be too particular here. Get the shots, force the goaltender to make a save, look for a rebound, have sticks down in front, but put the puck on the net.
Definitely crashed to the net, as 2 of those 3 goals last night for the Bears were results of crashing to the net as the puck finally made it to the crease. Clifford slowly, methodically over the blue line. It's Bullock on a slap shot. That one is going to be knocked away by the paddle of Iwicki. SUNY Potsdam trying to set up the play here. Off the half wall, Castro swings to the middle. Off the point, that's a blocker stop. Rebound, a bullet, and that one again blockered aside by the Hurons netminder.
41 seconds to go, and the advantage Bears getting some good looks, some good shots, forcing Iwicki to make the save.
Miscommunication on that pass. However, Bullock was able to make it in time in front of the William Smith bench. Here's a shot that goes off a body. Now it comes out in front of the net, and it's going to be taken around town by Fiona Gallagher. 16 seconds remaining. There's a shot. Looking for the tip was Mirandula. Couldn't get a piece of it. And again, another save made here by William Smith. Another shot towards the net, and that went off the knee of Castro. Bullock again looking for Castro. That goes wide, and that will end the power play opportunity here for the Bears. They're
really liked that power play. Really liked it.
Well, they were trying to pepper Iwicki, and they really did there in that 2 minutes, as we have about 7 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here on the clock. William Smith leads 2-1. As now going after it is Purdy. That one is chipped past her skates in the feet of Pro. She gets knocked down there by Toffolo. And that one will be chipped to the far side half wall for Lonzak. Now in the Zamboni corner, this one is a turnover in front of the net. Luckily for the Bears, Toffolo was not able to get a good piece of that puck. Purdy puts the body on there as she collides with Heiser. However, Heiser able to regain possession here. Here's a flip chip pass going wide of a couple different players. Purdy will be the one to grab it. That goes off a foot, and now here it comes back the other way. Paradis, she tries to cut in. She's going to take a hip check. Nicely done there by Seneca Urban. Edwards leaving at the blue line. That was intended for Gamberg, and she has her pocket picked there by Natalie May. Another shot for the Herons, and Bullock is able to save that in her body.
Gotten a little physical here recently.
Oh, yeah. Definitely getting chippy here. Bullock puts a shot there with the butt of her stick on Urban, as Paradis comes away with this one. Using her body to her advantage in front of her net. Nicely done there. It was Urban. Across to the far side. First one there is Vallis. As this one now goes down and hits the end boards. Whiteside trying to box out the attacker, and she got tripped up. No call on the play, as the puck now comes here to the close side. With less than 6 minutes remaining here in the third period. Coming out was Iwicki to stop the puck and play it. She got that into the neutral zone. Nice crisp passes here as Howe connects down low with Tardif.
That started with a nice pass from Iwicki in the goal, but 3 good passes in a row, but they weren't able to take the offensive zone as a result of them.
Mirandula with a stick check there, as keeping it in over the blue line was Rebecca Kane. Castro has this one, dinks out her defender, does it again. She tries to put it in off off the post. She had Iwicki beat. However, somehow it gets back into the goalie's pads.
Well, there's Jalen Castro becoming a factor here in this third period. 3 good looks for her. Most recently forced that play to be had to be shut down by Iwicki, but a nice play by Jalen Castro.
Trying to get it out of the defensive zone. Unsuccessful were the Herons, as this is going to be Marandula. She will skate away and curl from, not once but twice, from Heiser. She tried to get it back out in front of the net. Now Castro will help her out. She put a pass right out in front of the slot. There was a tie-up, so the Bears could not get the shot away. That should have been a delayed offsides, and now it is. Little second late on it, but no harm, no foul. Offsides against William Smith.
Well, we got a little break here. We'll remind everyone that the women's team will be on the road next weekend in SUNY Cortland, as well as Morrisville. The men's team will be back here next week, Friday and Saturday, with Hobart and Oswego coming to town. So there'll be some good hockey here in Maxey Hall, as there has been all weekend.
Absolutely.
2 very competitive games here last night, with the Bears coming away with that 3-2 victory, and here they're in a hard-fought fight, currently 2-1 with the William Smith Herons in the lead, but the Bears pressing with 4:47 to go in this third period.
Also, the men's hockey team having a great start to this early campaign. So if you'd like to see some men's hockey action next weekend, stop down here to Maxey Hall at SUNY Potsdam. Or you can also listen to it on Mix 96.1 FM or live stream it on PotsdamBears.com. Right now, 4 minutes remaining here in this last frame, as you can feel the ice tilting a little bit here in favor of SUNY Potsdam in the third. They've gotten plenty of shots on net. However, they just have not been able to capitalize and get that second goal. As at center ice, that went off the skate of Purdy, not once but twice, and now she's going to battle with it on Lonzak, thrown back in here by Purdy. Boyd will go after it, however, Schum puts that behind her, and it's a pass that makes it to Heiser. That went a little bit too far for May, as Prue advances the puck forward. Now coming back right to left, it's Fernandez. However, she stopped at the blue line. Purdy trying to bounce that off the boards and the glass in front of the penalty boxes. And it looks like we will have a delayed call here. Let's see if it's going to be... See what's going to be against here. I think it's going to be against the Herons, as they come here to have a little bit of a huddle in front of the scorer's bench. Or are they going to take one aside here?
I did not see it, so it was right below me in the blind spot there, partner. So,
yeah, we have the captain, Kelly Howe, the senior from Deerfield, Massachusetts, having a little discussion here with the officials. But yeah, I just saw the officials give the 4-on-4 signal. However, I didn't see anybody go into the penalty boxes for either team.
For the Bears, it looks like it's going to be Josie Purdy going in, and for the Herons, it's going to be number 18, Seneca Urban.
So matching minors here for both squads. Skate for a side here for almost the rest of the third period here.
You would think in this 4-on-4 that the swift skating Herons would have the advantage. Bears got to take some chances and press here.
Well, they also have to hope that there's a possible turnover here by William Smith. Back in the first period, they gave it up right in front of their own net, and the Bears almost came up with a goal. Picking this one up is Bullock. Can she get a step on the defender? No, she cannot. She's knocked down. However, here comes Castro with it. Back to the center lane. Shot. That goes off the skate of Gallagher.
Oh, there it goes.
And Castro drills Gallagher into the boards, and that will give a power play back here to the Herons.
4-on-3 with 2:13 to go, and it's a good long 4-on-3 opportunity here for 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining in the first penalties being called, and certainly almost the balance of the game. So the Bears are really behind it here with 2:13 to go. 4-on-3 power play. Faceoff is going to be to the left of Perron. Nonetheless, the Bears are still going to have to think about taking some chances.
Here's a shot, and at the last moment, Perron sees it through the screen as Heiser was looking for her second of the game. She'll cross ice past this one, and now at the top of the circle, it's Howe getting it back. That one goes off a skate in front of the net as it was Kennedy who was in the vicinity, and that one deflects as well. Getting a piece of it was Howe. However, she misdirects it instead of putting it towards the crease of Perron.
Well, again, you know, when possession of the puck takes place here, your inclination on a penalty kill, number one, is to throw it down the ice. The Bears can't do that here. They're going to have to try to formulate a play where they can get an offensive opportunity, because the balance of this game, they're going to be shorthanded.
Cross ice pass. That one goes over the crossbar. Letting it fly was Schum. Now back in the blue line, it's Heiser again. Cross for a one-timer, and Pro able to block that one. And now let's see if the speed will play. Way out of her net there is Iwicki, and she barely got that away. Here's a shot once again towards the Bears goalie, and it goes wide off the glass as those matching Miners will now go back to their respective benches and change up. And there's only 49 seconds remaining in the penalty to Castro with 1 minute remaining in the third period of play.
Oh, should have been a call there.
I'm surprised there wasn't, as there was definitely a takedown by William Smith. You got to give him the wrestling point off that one. As over the blue line, with possession comes Hacker. She'll look back to the slot. It is there. They shoot. They score. Off a backhander. It hits the post. Diglio now makes it 3-1 late in the third period on the power play.
And that is unfortunate for the Bears. They had done a good job, but too many opportunities there, certainly in the late going. The Bears didn't have much of a chance to think about just killing the penalty. They had to think about trying to get a goal here, being down a goal, and unfortunately a turnover resulted into a good play by Diglio, and she was able to put this game out of reach.
Marandola will win the draw back here to Clifford. We have a loose glove out there on the ice. A shot towards the net goes off a hand, and it's picked up here by Schum, who's just going to try to kill as much time off the clock. William Smith maybe looking for one more goal here, as that's thrown into the offensive zone by Kennedy. Off the half wall, bodies flying around there. Puck comes loose. Marandola gets in her skate. 5 seconds remaining here on the scoreboard, and that will do it. The horn will sound, and the William Smith Herons will come out with a victory here after being shut out last night. Your final score, 3-1.
Well, good goal there to put them up by 2. But if you look back on the goals that went in, the first goal was kind of a flutter redirect, if we will, on that beat Magali Perron, and then the second one was a screen shot in front that beat her high on the glove side, on the blocker side. So, a really very good, entertaining game here this afternoon. This is a good club, this William Smith club. They're a good skating club, but the Bears were able to hang in there, and I think not just hang in there, but have some good goal scoring opportunities. But the goaltender for the Herons was just outstanding here this afternoon. I thought she made some saves when she really needed to make those saves, and that's the end of the story here. It's a 3-1 loss for the Bears here on this Saturday afternoon.
And I guess ultimately, in the end, you can say that those last 2 goals scored, both on the power play, came from a little bit too much physicality from SUNY Potsdam. But, I mean, it's still early here, and that, it's still one of those things where they'll see William Smith again down the road, and, they'll try to get a little bit of revenge.
Well, I think the thing is here, the second league game of the season, the Bears are 1-1 in the league, as is William Smith. A very well played game, 2 quality teams, well prepared, well coached, and it's a learning situation. We're moving on. It's early in the year. Bears will take this one, go into the locker room, and next week have a discussion on really what we did well, what we need to improve on. And I think when they head down, and again, next week they're going to be facing Cortland, and that is a ranked team in preseason.
That's no tall order right there.
They were preseason ranked 2nd and have received some national votes as well. So as well as going on to play Morrisville. So, looking to improve every step of the way. This is both of these clubs. The Bears team is really looking to get a lot of mileage out of young players. That unit that the Bears have of Whiteside, Paradis, and Gamberg, all freshmen, factoring in a lot, having really to play a significant role in the scheme of things, along with Edwards on the back end as well. So they've got some learning to do, and they're going to get better as the season wears on.
As we will wait here, we're about to get the post-game statistics. I know they're being printed out right now. I can see them coming out of that printer.
You can see them coming. But as we mentioned here, in Maxey Hall, and for us, we're going to have Hobart in town with the men and Oswego next week. And then Tuesday, we will have an 11 a.m. game with SUNY Canton, and that's going to be kind of a special event.
Yes, Kids Day here at Maxey Hall. Right now, it looks like the ones that have been announced are the Lawrence Avenue Elementary School here in Potsdam, as well as Norwood and Norfolk Elementary School. And I do believe they're trying to get a third one. That's just a rumor I've heard, but there's definitely plenty of room down here, and there will be limited seating there if you do want to come down here on Tuesday, the 25th at 11 a.m.
Statistics in the game, Potsdam would get on the board first at 11:22, with Paradis picking up her 2nd of the year and 2nd in as many games, with Marissa Whiteside picking up the assist. But then it would be Heiser who would even the game at 18:55. Finley Crosby would pick up her assist. Finley Crosby would get her 2nd point of the night and her 1st goal of the year at 7:28 of the 3rd period. Kennedy and Hacker would be picking up the assist. And then putting the game out of reach would be Madeline Diglio, who would get that power play marker from Bella Hacker and Atera Velasquez. Shots on goal in that 3rd period had the Bears out shooting the Herons 11-8 and out shooting the Herons 28-26 for the game.
A very tightly contested game all the way up until the last few minutes. As we said, that will put William Smith now at 2-2 overall, 1-1 in the SUNYAC Conference play. For the SUNY Potsdam Bears, they will fall now, and they're actually back to 500. 3-3 overall, 1-1 in the SUNYAC.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's tough. That was a tough call towards the end. Certainly the penalties were legitimate, but the Bears being forced to not only try to kill the penalty, but trying to score off the penalty kill, taking some chances, just allowed some better offensive opportunities as the game wore on the power play, and it resulted in 2 power play goals.
And we will finish up here at Maxey Hall. A wonderful thank you to the volunteers and staff here, as always, up here in the Crow's Nest at Maxey Hall, who help out, as well as all the viewers and listeners across the sound waves. Once again, none of this is possible without your support. Once again, your final In women's hockey here on this Saturday afternoon, it was the William Smith Herons 3 and the SUNY Potsdam Bears 1. One more time for Todd Truax engineering this broadcast on the Mix 96.1 FM side. And for my partner, color commentator and former Potsdam Bears coach John Horn, I'm Taylor Salisbury, wishing you a great and safe Saturday evening and the rest of your weekend. From all of us here at PotsdamBears.com and Mix 96.1 FM, a Stevens Communications station.